My name is Troy Anthony Washington, and you are watching It Is What It Is TV. Salute.
Weapon the station to It Is What It Is.
TV, man.
I've been to a lot of places, met a lot of people of different races and cultures. But it's one thing that's been obvious to me. There is no group of people on this earth that are more unique or resilient as the people from my city. That's why I have decided to become a vessel for the people of Franklin, Louisiana, to share their stories with the world. Franklin Tells.
Welcome back to another episode of It Is What It Is TV.
Yes.
Now look, this the one I've been waiting on right here.
Come on, cuz. Come on, man. Happy to be here, man. Salute, for real, salute. Happy to be here, man.
Man, I'm here with the bloodline, man, and bro, we here for your story, man. And I know it's gonna be a pretty interesting one. You're a pretty interesting guy. Been knowing you all my life, man. So we're not gonna hold up on this, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Right. For those that don't know me, man, my name is Troy Anthony Washington. I was born February 25th, 1967 in Franklin, Louisiana, 70538. Of course, I'm a Pisces, so salute those Pisces out there, you know what I'm saying? It's been a struggle all my life. You know, coming up in Franklin, man, I jumped off the porch on 7th Street in the Brickyard. My childhood year, man, coming up off 7th Street, it was, I would say it was fun, bro. Back then, it was a village, you know, raising kids. It was real fun back then. Both of my parents being there, my mother and my father, you know what I'm saying? All my siblings are still here except one, my little brother Lane Washington, you know, but we still striding and still being strong and going. But man, to start this off, bro, I want to say, bro, when I was coming up, my childhood friends was coming off 7th Street, bro, was Kevin Lewis, Kevin Joseph, Rodney Davis, Terry Spain. You know what I'm saying? We was all off, Terry Spain was off of 9th Street, Kevin Lewis, Kevin Joseph, and Rodney Davis, we all was off 7th Street. Also had another couple more of my friends by the name of Ephraim and LeBit. We was coming up, man, on 7th Street. We used to have the recreation center where both of the pools was open. You know what I'm saying? Ms. Enola was open back in the days. We would get in the pool. And we even had Miss Brent, security guard out there. You know, like I said, both of the pools was open. We have our main power. And when after we get out the pool, bro, we go across the street to Ms. Enola. And we would get our hamburgers, French fries, and soda, you know, free of charge. I'm talking about everybody would look after everybody. You know, it was real fun back then. I'm talking about, bro, both of the parks, you know, they would have the softball tournaments going on. You know, we'd have the DJ out there. Matter of fact, back in the days, there's a guy they called Dr. Boogie, 5,000 watts. And when I say, bro, you hear from all over, from 7th Street, across the track, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the music was loud, bro, both the pools. I'm talking about it was a beautiful thing back then, bro. I'm talking about it was all fun. No guns, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was happy, bro. It was happy times back then. You know, and as time went along, I ended up moving on 7th Street, and we ended up moving on Ash Street. You know what I'm saying? And as I moved on Ash Street, I ended up encountering more friends. Theo Jones ended up becoming one of my friends, Big Roach, Lil Roach, because I had moved over there on Ash Street. Then I moved on Talbot Street. You know, we moved on Talbot Street, and TP was my next door neighbor. Brian Henry, Mark Lunem, you know, Uncle Roy, all them on Talbot Street. So basically, bro, in my childhood time, my parents, we moved around a lot, but I tell you the truth, bro, I'll be honest, even though we moved around a lot, my childhood life was beautiful. I cannot complain about that. It was a beautiful thing. And of course, we being kids, we got into little stuff like, say, for instance, like I say, both back then in them days, both of the pools was open. So at nighttime, we'll go get in the pool. You know what I'm saying? And the police will come and, we'll run out and, go home and stuff. We had a lady by the name of Miss Brent. We even had she was the security guard out there at Bruce Art House back then, bro. And we had the rec open. We used to be able to go shoot basketball. It was fun, bro. It was really like a happy time. It was happy times in Franklin, man. Even like, bro, when I was in school, we had the Copa Disco. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know, but right there where the clinic is at on Weber Street, man, there used to be a club for it. It was called the Copa Disco. Bro, we used to go in there and have fun. We had the, right down Willow Street, right there by Bango's, the store right there. We had game rooms, and then they ended up building another game room over there on 3rd Street. So we always had something to do, bro. It was always something for us to do. If you chose to do something wrong back in the day, you just was just a bad child, because it was always something for us to do. I'm talking about, we even had, basketball court. Where I'm talking about, it was dirty where we played basketball. You know what I'm saying? Shot basketball, bro. I'm talking about, it was fun. I'm talking about Franklin, bro, back in the days was like really Franklin. I'm talking about Main Street. The stores was packed. All the stores was packed. It wasn't no empty stores. It was money being generated back in my time in school. I even recall, bro, I was in the 5th grade. No, I was in the 6th grade at LaGrange, and the movie Roots had came out. And bro, I started a big old walk, bro, cause we watched the movie, man, and I watched how the white people was doing us, bro, and I didn't like it, bro. And I went to school the next day, but I said that to say this, the war that I started, bro, this big old white boy named Stephen Billot. And now I'm gonna tell you, now my memories ain't that good. There's certain things that I really remember. But this white boy, man, I don't know if people out there that's looking, but if y'all ever run into, I don't know if he's dead or what, but this white boy named Stephen Billot. I'm talking about, man, when I say this was a hard white boy, this was a hard white boy, and he wasn't scared of nothing. And I'll never forget him to this day. But yeah, man, but I started a big old ride at school, bro. I'm talking about whites against black, bro. I'll never forget, I was living on Ash Street, me, Terry Lynn Jack, Lynette Jack, salute out to my homegirls, you know what I'm saying? It was all good. But yeah, bro, those were some good times. And I'm talking about, now, my childhood friends that I just gave you, Kevin Lewis and all us, those was my good guys who I went to school with. Now, my outlaw friends was, when I was coming up, it was the Brickyard gang. I mean, like I said, we left off of 7th Street round about, I want to say about 80, I don't know, about 80, 81, 82, but.
So, when you say Brickyard, what is that?
Brickyard was a community. It was 7th Street and 9th Street, but it really was made up of guys basically off of 9th Street, and a guy by the name of Lurch, him and his two brothers Teapot and Poppy had come down here from California, and they had started that little, I said back then, we'll call it an organization, a gang, whatever they want to call it, but it was a little group, and the group was consist of that I'm knowing of. This is what I seen through my eyes. It was Killer D, Chicken, Noonie, Teapot, Poppy, Lurch, Rolo, Tate, Big Mike. Those was like the active ones. But like I say, it was still like a lot of homeboys on 9th Street, brothers like Cutter Butter, Sauté and them, all them boys, man. Just about all the boys that was on 9th Street was considered a Brickyard, back then. And I'm talking about, man, when them boys come down here, them boys made some noise, bro. I never forget when they come down here, this guy by the name of Robin Clatterty. that was my neighbor for he lived on 9th Street and we lived on 7th Street, but our backyard was connected. Their backyard was our backyard. And bro, this dude here, bro, I'm talking about this dude named Robin Cladd. Those that know him, y'all know who I'm talking about. When I say he wasn't nothing, when I say he terrorized the city, bro, he terrorized the city. And when them boys come down, like I said, the wreck, we used to call the wreck, bro. I'm talking about you had to get it in at the wreck. Because the wreck was where you found out, was, like I said, we didn't have no guns back then, bro. You had to fight. And when you talking about when we fight, next day we be the best of friends, or next day we gonna have to get it up again until we end up respecting one another. And that's what it's about, bro. But that dude, Robert Cladd, bro, he was the first one that I seen, well, because when them brothers came out here, Poppy, and rest in peace, Poppy, too. God bless, rest him, bro. Teapot, you know what I'm saying? It's much love to you too, homeboy. But them boys come down here, boy, them boys wasn't playing no games. I'm talking about there wasn't no such thing as fighting one and one winning and the other one don't jump on you. Whether they winning or losing, them boys stuck together like brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's how that went out. That's how that went back then. But it was a beautiful thing, man. It definitely was beautiful.
So you were saying that you had your childhood friends and you had people like Killer D, Chicken, and Noonie, and you call those your outlaw friends.
Those my outlaws. Those the ones that act up at nighttime when they see my dad. That's how I end up running fast, because when I was coming up, like I said, both of my parents still living today, thank God. When my dad used to tell me, you know, Troy, be in the house before that street, that corner light come on, that pole light come on. So I would hang with him, you know, long as I can hang with him. And right before that light, when it get dark and I'm hearing that little light come on, bzz, I'm knowing it's about to light up. So now, this when the fun getting ready to start, because they out there playing hide and people with the homegirls and all that. Like I say, they get in the pool at nighttime. That's when the fun getting ready to happen. But I can't hang out because they older than me. So now I got to run home before the light come on. So I'm making it in. So when I get in the house, sometimes I would take my chances and leave, and then most of the time I would have to hear about the story, you know, the next day, because I had to go in the house. But yeah, brother, we was going to get dogs, you know, we would go to the dog pound and take dogs out and all that, man. Yeah, it was so basically, bro, I lived two lives even as a child. You know, I had my good, you know, school boys, and then I had my, you know, my hoodlums, you know, that we went around stealing back in them days, them swing bites and them Fuji's. Man, we would go to Eastwood and stuff, bro, and when the white folks had them nice swing bites, and we would take bicycles and stuff, bro. Speaking of bicycles, another one of my childhood friends, Tony Pickett, rest in peace, and Richard Randall. Those was like really my age, and outlaws who I did dirty stuff with. There was back in the day, they used to have a place called Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So we would go to Walmart. I'm not Walmart, I'm tripping. Murphy's Mart. We used to call Murphy's Mart up there on you know, up there where McDonald's and stuff at. So bro, we used to go to Murphy's Mart, and I'm talking about we used to take all type of stuff out of bicycles. I'm talking about reflectors going all the way around with the strings and, you know, the lights and stuff on there. So man, it was like we had them like cars. Cause we back in the days too, bro, we used to ride our bicycles from Franklin all the way to Four Corners. You know, them children don't do that today, but yeah, bro, we get on a bicycle and we shoot out. We ride all the way to Four Corners. It's about 10 or 8 of us riding the Four Corners, bro. It was a beautiful thing. I'm talking about we had fun.
From Franklin to Four Corners?
From Franklin to Four Corners.
That's
we
a hike.
On bicycles.
That's a hike.
That's a hike, bro. We on bicycles. We going to see the girls. We going to see the girls, bro. From Franklin to Four Corners. Yeah, we shooting out. It was a beautiful thing, man. I'm telling you. I have no regrets. Man. Franklin don't owe me nothing, man, in my childhood days. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, back in them days, bro, I mean, neighbors was neighbors, bro. We was able to go across the street or next door to our neighbor, you know, getting milk, you know, borrowing eggs, wasn't nobody talking about it, you know, even for this to our family, bro. You know, like the ones that was unfortunate, we was able to hand down clothes. Wasn't no family member talking about, oh, I gave you some clothes, I gave you some shoes or some, you know, a shirt to put on. It wasn't that, bro. It was love. It was love. Love, bro. It was love back then, for real. It was really love. It was a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing, bro.
So Troy, I assume you got to high school around 82, 83.
Yeah.
Tell me about your high school experience.
Man, high school, man, memories, bro. It's been about, what, 30-something years, bro. Shout out to class of 86, 1986, bro. Salute. Man, high school, man, was a blast, bro. I'm talking about, man, I had fun, bro. I'm talking about, I wouldn't have gave it up for nothing, bro. I'm talking about, I had the opportunity, if I wanted to stay home, bro, I could have stayed home because my parents, they both was going out the house by 5:30 in the morning. But I had to get to school, bro. Because that's where all the women was at in school. What I'm stay home for, bro, when ain't nobody at home? I don't understand these kids today, bro. School, man, school was fun. We had a ball, bro. Matter of fact, shout out to all the teachers, man. The principal was Brumfield back then. You know what I'm saying? Miss Rack, you know, Miss Holmes, Miss Thomas, T-Tot, Coach Perry, salute. Man, school, man, I'm talking about so many good people, bro. We had fun. I had fun in high school, bro. I'm talking about the pep rallies, cuz high school, man, you you done brought up some bad, man, you stirred up some stuff. Man, high school, man, I ain't got no complaints, bro. I'm in high school, bro. The pep rallies, bro, was pep rallies, you know, in school. Football games was football games. You know, I ran track in high school, bro. I'm talking about track meets, man, was track meets, man. Shout out to Fawcett Relay, man. Coach Perry again, bro. That man showed me a lot, bro, when I went to high school. Matter of fact, junior high was the 8th grade and the 9th grade. So when I graduated from elementary, I still was at junior high. But Coach Perry, man, came and got me and Theo Jones, bro, to run track at the senior high. So I was going to the senior high before I was even at the senior high. Going over there running track with Coach Perry, man. I'm talking about, so you couldn't tell me I wasn't nobody, because you got to understand, I'm leaving junior high to go to the senior high to run track where all these girls at, and still at the junior high. Oh, man, and then I was dating my cheering mama, Tanya, bro, so she was always a grade ahead of me. So, man, I had a ball in high school, man. I'm talking about, like I said, bro, the pep rally was the pep rally, bro. Matter of fact, bro, shout out to them boys in pink, bro. They know who I'm talking about. The boys from Four Corners, man. Stanford and Pete and Kurt. You know what I'm saying, man? Man, we had a ball, bro. Back then when I was in school, it was 5A. You know, it was Baldwin and Four Corners. All them, when we was in school, all them came to Franklin. They didn't have no West St. Mary back then. So everybody, we all came together, bro. I ended up Warren Thomas, Carlos, Fred Rounders, they became our partners, bro. And man, we had a ball, bro. I'm talking about, I remember the day, bro, we get out of school, and on weekends, man, we would wash our parents' cars, bro. We'd all get together, and we'd go to Heinzman Park in Lafayette. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about women, bro. We had a ball, man. I ain't have no complaints in high school, bro. I ain't lying.
Now, you mentioned that you could have stayed home because both your parents were going around 5:30.
Right.
But you want to go because of the girls.
The girls.
So
man.
tell me this right here. Everybody had some it girls in their class. So around that time, man, who's the it girls?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest, bro. You put me on the spot, bro. You put me on the spot. You had your girls from Franklin, you had your girls from Baldwin, and you had your girls from Four Corners. Man, they gonna get mad at me, man, but I'm gonna have to go with them girls from Four Corners, bro. Them girls from Four Corners, man. My home girl was from Franklin. I'm from Franklin, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Them girls from Four Corners, bro. I told you earlier, bro, in the interview, bro. We used to ride bicycles from Franklin all the way to Four Corners. I'm talking about we leaving Franklin, we passing through Baldwin, you know what I'm saying, and going straight to Four Corners on bicycles. That's how it was, bro. You know what I'm saying? When we was kids, and then once we got a little older, you know, we started driving around. But man, them girls in Four Corners, bro, they had it going on. I ain't lying, bro. Even like the dudes, bro, dudes in pink. Matter of fact, bro, to be honest, when we was coming up, when I was in school, bro, them dudes in Four Corners, bro, made it cool for dudes to have pink. You know, back in the day, pink was like more of like a girl thing. If you wore pink, that was like a sissy thing. But the boy from Four Corners, bro, when they used to come out in the pink shirt, bro, they made pink shirts like cool for dudes to wear. You know, That's how pretty them boys were. They made it cool, man. They made it real cool.
Do you remember anybody from Four Corners in particular who was part of that group?
Oh yeah, Stanford Edwards, Pete Edwards, Kurt Matthews, Mitchell Mark. You know, those was the pretty boys. Yeah, those was the pretty boys, bro. And I mean, salute them, man. Rest in peace, Pete Edwards, man. You know what I'm saying? Some soldiers come from that way. I'm talking about football, basketball, bro. We had fun. I'm talking about even like after basketball game, bro, they had the Copa Disco. You know, that was right there on Weber Street, bro. We used to go to dances and stuff, have a ball, bro. No fighting. I'm talking. Matter of fact, I'm lying. If we didn't no shooting, because if we did get in a fight, like I said, bro, either we're gonna been the best, we gonna come up and be the best of friends. That's how school was, bro. I'm talking about. Shout out to Miss Rack, man. She was lovely. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, give you a little history too. Class of '86. We was the first class to graduate from the new building. When they first built that building, class of '86 was the first class to graduate from that new building. We was the first class of '86, to run on that track field. Man, we had a ball, man. I wouldn't take nothing back. You know, even like when I was in school, man, my days were so good, bro. Bring it up again. My kid's mama, bro, I mean, she made a way for me. I got to salute her too, man. Tanya Washington, you know what I'm saying? She got my kids, my two daughters. I mean, she made it easy for me to graduate, you know what I'm saying? Because she made sure I was straight. So by the time I got to the 12th grade, I mean, I was coasting through, you know? But also, man, I want to give a shout out, man, to Gus DePaz, bro, because when I got ready to graduate, man, out of high school, I ain't have a plan on what I was gonna do. You know, I know I didn't want to go, you know, work on no shipyard. You know what I'm saying? I was running track. I was good in track. You know, Coach Perry was gonna give me a scholarship, but I didn't want no scholarship. But I recall back in the days when I ended up getting into a fight, bro, with a guy that was older than me. You know, some of you guys know him, Kilowatt in Broussard Harris. They call him Sheriff. When I was in Broussard Harris, I'm telling y'all, when Miss Brent was also the security guard. Well, me and him, they had manpower during the summertime, because during school time, we would go to school, but in the summertime, they had a manpower program. And I was working at the rec, and me and Kilowatt ended up getting into a fight, bro, and Gus seen how angry and how mad I got because I had a temperament back then, bro. And he told me, he said, Troy, when I got through fighting, he told me, he said, Troy, bro, he said, you know, if I was you, bro, he said, I ended up going to the military. He said, because that attitude you got, bro, he said, either you gonna kill somebody or somebody gonna kill you. And it was true. He said, bro, he said, go to the military where you can get paid for free for killing people. And, bro, I salute that man today because I took him up on his offer, and that's where I went. And I thank God that was like one of the best decisions I made was going to the military after high school. But, bro, my high school days was beautiful, bro. I'm talking about still with my childhood friends, Kevin Lewis, you know, Terry Spain, Kevin Joseph. I added to the list. Dion Brent became a friend of mine because he was living in Four Corners. He was from Four Corners to Franklin, so he ended up becoming a good friend of mine. Warren Thomas and them from Baldwin, you know, they ended up becoming good friends. Man, high school was great. I ain't got no complaints.
So, from what I heard, you was known as the track star and the energetic guy. The rest of the guys that you just named, what were they known for?
Well, Buddy was a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Theo, he was our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Lewis, he played football, but Kevin was more like a preppy boy, pretty boy. Him and Buddy. You know what I'm saying? Me and Theo, we like ran, but them boys, that was like, they didn't have no steady girlfriends back then. You know what I'm saying? They basically ran where, even like back in them days, bro, for the most part, you basically had to have like a girlfriend. Them girls back in them days, they like the girls today. They wasn't jumping from this girl, from this boy to that boy. We didn't have no what they call now, like that, what they be saying, hating and freak. Basically, man, you basically had to have a girlfriend. Now, you had some out there that was doing their thing, but for the most part, yeah, bro, them girls was like with one dude, you know what I'm saying? Doing their thing, bro. I'm talking about, man, I ain't got no complaints about school, man. I'm talking about the teachers was good, you know what I'm saying? we got along. Even though we was from different places, how the kids do today with all that fighting amongst each other. Man, we became friends, bro. We became friends. I'm talking about we had a ball. We definitely had a ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the Copa Disco. I'm talking about we leave from school. That's when the Copa was open. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but back to your question again, cuz about the girls, man. I love the school, man. I say, Four Corners, man, had the baddest girls in my class. Class of '86 was Four Corners.
All right, it's 1986. You done graduated from high school. What was next?
Man, 1986, bro. I go to the military, October of '86. I signed up for 4 years. I do 6 weeks in Orlando, Florida, bro. When I left home, bro, I'm talking about I left my mom. I never forget they had the bus. They had a bus station right over there by VIP in Franklin. There used to be a bus station right there, right side VIP. I caught the bus from right there all the way to New Orleans to the MEP station. I stayed there for 2 days doing my physical and stuff, and ended up going to Orlando, Florida for my boot camp. Stayed there 6 weeks in Orlando, Florida. It was a blast over there. I'm talking about, now you gotta understand, I'm out of high school, I'm young, you know what I'm saying? I done stepped out in the real world. When I graduated, they like, welcome to the real world. This the real world. I'm out here. I'm talking about I ain't got no mom or no family members or nothing. I get to Orlando. I got a sister coming. I stay there for six weeks. After we graduate, we go to Disney World. Enjoying myself, man. Had a blast. Learned a lot. Matter of fact, I used to say the catering. So now it's time for my A school. So I got a choice to go to Virginia, California, or Chicago, Illinois. I'm not going to Chicago, Illinois because it's cold. I don't want to go to Virginia because I don't know nothing about no Virginia. So my next order is San Diego, California. My mom and them, I know, I wasn't going to never be able to get to California no time soon. So I'm like, man, let me get to the West Coast, California. Because back then they were talking about how Hollywood, how Beverly Hills was. So I'm going to California. Then it's warm, the weather beautiful out there. So I get to San Diego, California, man. I'm talking about I had a blast, bro. We get to California. I go, like I say, I'm in the United States Navy. I'm in A school. My job was, I was a cook in the Navy. I'm on an aircraft carrier. That's about 8,000 people, man. We got about 8,000 people on the aircraft carrier. I'm staying in San Diego. Now, keep in mind, 86, I get married right after I get out of boot camp. So I ain't got to stay on base. I ain't got to live on base. I got my own house out in the real world, out there in San Diego. I ain't living on the military base. So I end up marrying my high school sweetheart, Tanya Washington. You end up having a daughter out there in California, man. I'm talking about, when I say back then, bro, time had really changed, because I never forget, man, when I was on the aircraft carrier, I was in North Island. Back when rap had just come out. That's when the Sugar Hill Gang and all that was doing their thing. So by me being from down south, we used to go to clubs and stuff out there, man, in California. Like I say, I'm a country boy. I ain't never been out there, so really, I'm talking about big old skyscrapers, big buildings. So everything is new to me, amazing to me. This 1986. We ain't have no Facebook and all that back then. You know what I'm saying? We really didn't even see it on TV. You know what I'm saying? Long distance was long distance back then. So everything was like, man, it was like real back then. So I'm in San Diego, California, man, and end up running into matter of fact, let me back up a little bit. Fred Rounders, man, I want to give a shout out to Fred Rounders, bro, because he ended up waiting on me. Fred Rounders graduated in 1985, and we decided to go together on a buddy system. So me and Fred waited for me till I graduated, and we ended up leaving together on a buddy system. So shout out to you, bro. Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm in San Diego, California, man, and I'm talking about, like I say, I'm from a little town called Franklin, and I never told. Every time they asked me where I was from, even though I was from a little town called Franklin, 9 out of 10 they probably didn't know where it was at, didn't even see it on the map. I ain't let nobody know I was from New Orleans, because I wasn't from New Orleans. I'm from Franklin. So that's what I represented. So While I'm out there, man, I'm talking about California, man, was a beautiful thing, bro. And rap, keep in mind, rap music coming out. And bro, when that rap music coming out, it's the East Coast and the West Coast. You know, and so for me being down south, you know, when they in the club, they hollering East Coast, West Coast, so I could never say nothing because the South wasn't getting no props back then in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, do y'all thing. So keep in mind, bro, like I said, I was in North Island, I was on an aircraft carrier. So while I was on the aircraft carrier in San Diego, man, we would have 6-month deployments. We would go on Westpac, they call Westpacs. Man, I'd have been to Hawaii, Japan, Australia, Thailand, Singapore, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say, man, right now, the world don't owe me nothing, man, because I've seen the world. I'm talking about before cell phones, before, what that is, YouTube and all that, Facebook and all that was out. I was doing all that back then. I was seeing the world, man. Thank God. Matter of fact, give praise and glory to God, because if it wouldn't have been for God, I wouldn't have been able to do none of this stuff, man. But when I tell you I had a ball in California, man, matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all a story that happened while I was in California, around about 19, I don't want to lie, Dave Jones, around about 1987, 86. Now I'm out there. Now you keep in mind, you know, that gang banging really going on, the Crips and the Bloods. So I ended up getting close to some people out there in San Diego, some Bloods, so that looked after me. So while I'm out there, I'm like, you know, I'm living out there. I'm in the military, but at the same time, like I said, I had a good side and a bad side. I got caught up. I got caught up out there, bro. And Dave was in the military. He was stationed in Virginia, and he happened to come out there and see me, man. And when he came and seen me, I mean, man, I rolled out the red carpet for him. Matter of fact, everybody that came through there, even shout out to Tony Grimm. He came and done his A school out there, you know, and we ran into each other, you know, on 32nd Street. You know, I ran into, matter of fact, Curtis. I was Curtis' inspiration. My cousin, Curtis Milton, he ended up going to the military because he seen that I had inspired him. You know, he had seen what I had done, so he ended up coming to the military. He was mad with me for a while, but at the end of the day, it ended up paying off for the both of us. That was like one of the best things I've done, bro, was going to the military. So from 86 to 90, I was stationed in San Diego, California. Like I said, I was on an aircraft carrier, the USS Ranger. Bro, when I say, man, we had fun, I'm talking about, because you got to keep in mind, like I said, I was a country boy. I ain't see all this stuff before. So, man, so for me, to see the things that I seen being from Franklin. Now, keep in mind, if it wouldn't have been for Franklin, I wouldn't have been able to make it in California, bro, because there was a lot of things that I learned in my hometown called Franklin. You know what I'm saying? That prepared me to go to California and have to go through what I went through. Because like I said, when I got there, bro, ain't nobody, I don't care if you was from New Orleans, they still looked at you as a country boy. So I say that to say this, bro, that's when I realized, you know, who I was, because man, when I got down there, man, in California, bro, I still got partners today, you know, that who I was in the military with. Shout out to the boys that was on the aircraft carrier, on the USS Ranger. You know, if y'all watching this, shout out and much love. Man, I'm talking about, man, I got buku love out there, bro. I'm talking about, in the military. I done my thing in the military, but also, bro, I mean, I handle my business as a man, you know, taking care of my family and stuff. So when Dave and them came out there, bro, I'm talking about, I had it going on, bro. I had about like about 50 guys up under me, man, doing what I want to do.
I'm telling you right now, niggas talk that shit. When I went to California, I'm in California, bro. I'm in the club. It's I think it was the Glitter Dome, some shit like that. And it's 3 stories. I go up in that motherfucker, country ass nigga. I ain't seen nobody yet from Franklin, but you know, up there, nigga like, God damn man, you sound funny and talk. To hear nigga talk. Say, man, I'm from the bottom of the booth, so I go through the fucking club. I'm walking in the club, man. I ain't lying, walking in the club. And I bump into Troy Washington. I bump into Troy, bro. And Troy said behind my back, I bump into Troy. Niggas grab me. and calling me up. Nigga grabbed me and calling me up, bro. I said, man, what the fuck? Troy said, man, Liam, that's my homeboy. So I'm in California, but Troy had already been up there. Man, I see Troy. I go to Troy, I said, man, look, that's my homeboy, don't fuck with it, that shit rides. So Troy said, man, I'm come pick you up tomorrow. The next day, Troy come pick me up, bro. Troy took me to his apartment. And I said this, Troy hung back here all his life too, like us. I go out there, man, Troy had a book. Now you talking about the black book? Troy had a fucking brown book. That book this thick, that wide. A nigga from right here, bro, had control of a whole fucking California block. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I wouldn't just, man, so Troy brought me back. I said, well, man, I'm gonna get my partner Matt to bring me back to y'all. I said, I'm gonna call you. Troy had that white Nissan on there with the purple shit on the body to come down from California, park on the corner, turn that music up. He had the neon lights on the body. That shit just start popping off. Man, I go to Troy, bro, I swear. I went to Troy, knocked at the fucking door. Boom, 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 boom. Motherfucker, clack, clack. I was out here, clack, 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 clack. I'm thinking they're loading guns, right? But that's how many locks on the fucking door. I come in the fucking door, got a nigga behind the door, bro, with a whole M16. Nigga sitting over here with a fucking 357 revolver, bro. When I say Troy was running that whole fucking city block in California, that nigga did that, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I said to say this, just because you from this country town, nigga, that don't mean shit. OBU give you enough street sense to drop your ass anywhere in the world, and you gonna make it. If that's how you wanna make it. You can believe that shit, bro. That's some real nigga shit. Believe that.
You know what I'm saying? I basically called home. Matter of fact, Bobby Bars, he'll tell you the story. We got stories together. You know, he came up there and stayed with me in California for a while. You know, I'm out there young, and keep in mind I'm young. So that's why I understand these kids today, you know, how they get in stuff, because peer pressure is something else, bro. I wasn't even from California. But by the time I got out, I'm in the military, and by the time I got out there and I was running the streets like I was running the streets, I got caught up in this gang stuff. So now I'm knowing people that's representing, you know, the red, and he knowing people that's representing the blue, and we from Franklin. We both from Franklin. You know what I'm saying? And that was my wife's uncle. And he on one side of town, I'm on the other side of town, and we not even getting along. That's how crazy it was, bro. But man, I'm talking about my first 4 years in the military, it was an experience. You know, it was an experience coming from a little town like Franklin. You know, I would have, like, who would have ever thought that I would have made it like I made it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a ball. To this rap music, man. When I was in the military, let me tell you. I remember Dolores Tucker. I'm in that era. And this woman came on, that's when Tupac and all of them was out there. And this woman came on, bro, and she was saying this rap music. This rap music is destroying us because we calling our females, you know, the B word. You know what I'm saying? We degrading them. And I'm going to be the first to raise my hand up and say, bro, I was one of those ones that was saying, man, that old woman.
How did you end up getting involved with that? Like, who introduced you to it? Like, you know, explain that to me.
I mean, I really didn't want to go there, but I mean, I'm going to go there. I mean, I was married. And me being young, that's why I say this is another thing too, man. This is another thing. I'm glad you asked me that. I feel as though nobody should get married at the age of 18, 19 years old, bro, because I got married at a young age. I got married too young because when I got to California, I started seeing all these beautiful girls and all this stuff here, man. And my first wife, I love my first wife, but like I say, I got married at a young age, bro. And I started running around and running into the wrong people. To me, they was the right people. And that's how I got into the mule thing. The girl that I was running with, she was from San Diego, and that's what her mom and her daddy did. So I watched, by me running with her, I'm watching her mom and daddy do this, and so I asked her about it, like, you know, how they making this money, what they doing? And she gave me the game, and I picked it up and I ran with it. And it was a beautiful thing. I'm talking about all we had to do was just, like I say, go to Tijuana, pick them up and come on home.
So tell me about this girl. Like, was y'all a couple? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you know, tell me about it.
Yeah, she was my side piece. You know what I'm saying? She was my side piece, man. I even brought her back to Franklin, bro. You know, I mean, I was young. You know what I'm saying? But her family, had made sure her family took care of me out there, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, when I was in San Diego, California, bro, in the military, like I said, I had my wife, but I was young, running around too. When I was out there, bro, I mean, her family made sure I was straight. It was like me being in Franklin, busting the corner, throwing up the deuce. That's how good it was for me in San Diego, California. Like I said, bro, I had about 50 people up under me. And then the girl who I was dating, she had brothers, they was in gangs, and like they loved their little sister, so they just made a way for me. And once they made a way for me, I ran with it. I ran with it. I ran with it, cuz. And I'm talking about, when I say I ran with it, you gotta keep in mind, I'm a country boy. We ain't got no Facebook or none of that out. We ain't got none of that out. I don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So for me to go to California and get the love, you know, and the attention that I got, man, you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. I ran with it. I definitely ran with it, bro. So from 1986 to 1990, I was in San Diego, California. From 90 to 92, I came to Pensacola, Florida. I'm living in Pensacola, Florida doing my shore duty, which means I'm on land now. From 92 to 94, I go back to California. Cause now I'm on the aircraft, another aircraft carrier called the Constellation. I'm on the USS Constellation. I'm on another tour now to re-enlisted again. So from 92 to 94, I go across the horn. I'm in Philadelphia. I stay in Philadelphia. That was an experience for me. By the 93, I'm in Philadelphia going around the horn on the USS, meeting the USS Constellation, because we're going back to San Diego, California. So as I'm in Philadelphia, I go to the club Rick Mahone's. You know, that's in Cherry Hills. I know people out there in Philadelphia know what I'm talking about. Boys to Men on in Philadelphia. I've been out there when they made the video. So after from 92 to 94, now I'm back in San Diego, California. Back in San Diego, California. Now keep in mind, the chick that I told you that I was running with in San Diego. Now I ended up bringing her to Franklin when I came home in 90. So now I'm stationed in Pensacola, Florida from 90 to 92. So when I go back at the end of 92, I go back to her. So when I go back and see where she at, she got she have a old man and a baby, right? So she got the old man and a baby. So show you how women is. She got the old man and a baby. I go back because now me and my wife not together. We just split up. We going through a divorce. So now I'm going back to California by myself. So now when we get down there, when I get back down there, I go running her because I know where she stays. She's from San Diego, California. I go to her house. So when I go to her house, come to find out she got like I said, old man and a baby. So we talk and stuff. And then I let her know that, me and my wife, we ain't together no more. So she tell me, she said, well, I got a old man and a baby daddy. So guess how she this why I got my game from, cuz. Guess how she introduced me. When she introduced me to her baby daddy, she introduced me as her cousin. So when she introduced me as her cousin, now I can come to the house because I'm a cousin. So of course, I'm the cousin. So when he leaving, you know what I'm saying, I'm still there. So now we the hook back up. You know what I'm saying? We the hook back up. We the hook back up, man. I learned so much stuff in California too.
All right. So tell me this.
Yeah.
You let her know that you and your wife were not going through divorce or divorced, and you guys are pretty much free to deal with each other.
Yeah.
But where did the initial split come from? Because I mean, if you're making $70,000 pretty much a year for, being the mule, you're not just going to give that up. Is this the part where you told me, doing a sidebar conversation, that you did some time for credit card fraud? Like, is that around the time we all split up at?
No. That's a good question. That's two different girls. The split with the one with the mule was, it came about when I left in 1990. Like I said, I brought her home with me to Franklin because she had seen Franklin, our town. She had been in Franklin, Louisiana. And by me going back to my wife, because I was trying to keep in mind now I'm about to have my second daughter. So now I'm back in Pensacola, Florida. So the girl I'm talking about, she ended up going back home. She ended up going back to California. So when she ended up going back to California, we lose touch with each other. You know what I'm saying? But I knew where she stayed. So that's how we ended up losing touch, because I didn't even think I was gonna go back to California. When I got my papers to be stationed in Orlando, Florida, when they gave me some orders again, the Constellation was going. It was in Philadelphia, and it ended up going. The home port ended up being back in San Diego, California. So that's how I ended up back in California. So when I got back in California, I knew where she stayed. So when I went to her house, her mom she wasn't staying there. Her mom and her dad was there. So they called and let her know that I was back in San Diego, California. So that's how we ended up splitting up, because I didn't think I was coming back, and then I was still married. I ended up making my second daughter. I ended up having my second daughter in Pensacola, Florida. You know what I'm saying? So when I went back, now, tell you this story too, because it's crazy. Say, bro, the story crazy. I ain't lying, cuz. This here, when I go back, you know, and like I say, I'm playing with her. I'm playing with her for a while. You know, her and her baby and her dad. I'm playing with them for a while, till she ended up telling her boyfriend who I really was, enough to get me killed. So I left that alone. I cut that loose. I left her alone. Now I'm in the same complex. I end up running into this other chick in the same complex, but the city's so big. I mean, you be in the same complex, we don't even know that, you know, I know you stay in the complex. So I end up running into another chick in the complex, right? Biggest mistake I made, because you're thinking it's big, but it ain't that big. I ended up running into another chick. So I'd have left her alone, because she'd have told her boyfriend who I was, enough to get me killed, but I didn't get killed, thank God. Thank you again, Father God. So I ended up running into another chick in the complex. This where the credit cards come about at. Every day, I'm on a boat, guys getting drunk, you know what I'm saying? Because now everybody was scheming out. The one thing I tell you about the city, there's always some type of hustle that's going on. This scheme here was, when I got with this family right here, their scheme was credit cards. So now, I'm peeping gang, got to see how this here goes. So she run it to me like, you know, this how this here goes. So me, being the person that I am, when she give me the game, I say, you know what? I say, white people always say we all look alike. I say, so what I did was, it used to be sailors that'll come on the boat and they would drink and stuff. They would get drunk. I wouldn't take their money. I would just take their ID cards and I sit on them for about 2-3 months, because they'll go get them a new ID card. But I sit on the military ID card I'm talking about. And what I would do, and I'm not promoting that nobody go take nobody ID card. You know, I'm not promoting none of that. I'm just giving you my story. I do not promote none of that. But anyway, bro, what I would do, I would take the ID cards and I sit on them. I sit on them for about a month or two. And after I sit on them for about a month or two, I go out in town or go to the mall or whatever and apply for instant credit. And when I apply for instant credit, they would tell me how much I was able to get, and I would have to sign a person's name. So when I sign a person's name, I got to sign it closer like them. But the thing was, the people wasn't even looking at the face, because half of the people I didn't even look like on the ID card. We were just black. My thing was getting my signature as close as possible to their signature. So that was my second link, cuz. So that's what I started doing. I started doing credit card frauds. I'm talking about anywhere where they was going applying back in the days. I don't know if they do it now, but back in the days, you used to be able to apply for instant credit, and someone was 10,000, 5,000, 7,000, and I would just go around stores, bro. I'm talking about jewelry stores, clothing stores, and apply for instant credit in these people's name, and they would automatically approve me, and I would be able to buy so much stuff that day, right there on the spot, in that store. And the story on that, bro, the story on that situation was, the girl, man, the girl who I was dating, the girl, well, I'm gonna call her name, because she was in California. Her name was Marcy. She ended up catching on to what I was doing, and ended up calling the Fed on me. That's when I learned out about the Fed. The FBI like kicked in my door, bro, like early in the morning, like about 4:30 in the morning, bro. Kicked in my door. So I had to go I was out the military. Matter of fact, I was out the military at this time when I had done my time '94, so I got out the military, and I stayed in California. After I got out the military, and but probably about 6 months after that, you know what I'm saying, because I was doing this while I was in the military, you know, taking ID cards, and once I got out and they kicked in the door, bro, it was like it was all over for me. It was all over.
Okay, so all right. So you mentioned that you were coming home. Is this around the time you had that famous that everybody knows pretty much in Franklin, that Nissan that you had? Is that it?
Oh,
that
yeah.
you were coming home in?
Yeah. Matter of fact, from 90 to 92. That's from 90 to 92. That's when they had the 5-star rims. I got it pearl white and had dropped it. You know what I'm saying? They put the neon lights on it. So from 90 to 92, that's when I'm coming back from Pensacola, Florida to Franklin. That's when Agbo and all them was open. I'm talking about time that changed then. It was on and popping.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was on and popping. It was on and popping.
So I mean, you were pretty bold to bring old girl home with you though. So I mean, you had any issues with that? Anything transpired from that?
Man, I don't mean to toot my horn, bro. But I got my game from California. I got my game from California. So when it came to female, bro, that was like something never hard for me to do. I ain't never had no problem with women. You know what I'm saying? That was never like one of my problems, was getting a female. Never was one of my problems. So I took that game, and when I tell you I ran with it, cuz, I ran with it. So at 56 years old, bro, man, you make me want to get up. I was about to get up. I'm pretty good, bro. I had a journey. I had a journey in my life, bro, but I'm still here, bro. Thank God. You know, I give all glory to God. Because it definitely have been, I'm 56 years old now, bro. And when I started this journey, bro, I was 18 years old. You know, and for me to be here today, bro, talking to you, man, talking to the people out there, bro, in the world, say, bro, I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
All right, so peep this.
Talk to me.
I have had the privilege to interview Dave Jones.
Right.
He told me how whenever he went to Cali in the military, he ran into you. You confirmed how you took care of him.
Mm-hmm.
You told me about your time being the mule, you know, running the Mexicans back and forth, getting the bag with that.
Getting the bag, like the youngsters say. Get in the bag.
You did credit card fraud, you know, out there. I mean, so man, you pretty much had a pretty good time in the military, man. So the military don't owe you nothing.
No. I'm talking about I done seen the world, bro. I'm talking about, like I say, I done seen the world. I'm talking about before Facebook and all that, where you ain't got to go nowhere now and see the world. I actually was on the ground. I'm touching these places. I'm out there. You know, touching these different countries, man. And it was a privilege. I mean, that was like one of the smartest things I did, bro, was join the military. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, speaking of the military, bro, right now in this time and day, you know what I'm saying, I end up, you know, having some trauma, going through some things in the military, and it's called PTSD. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say this, bro. You don't have to be in the military to have PTSD. You know, right now we're dealing with a mental thing in our world today. And I just, back in the days, I thought when I was in the military, you only caught PTSD in the military. Trauma is everywhere today, bro. You know, so it's just, you don't have to be in the military to have PTSD. This mental thing is real. It's real out here. It's definitely real.
Man, you know what? I'm glad that you let the audience know that, you know, you can have trauma from anywhere. The source doesn't have to be the military.
Yes.
But I tell you what, man, your whole military journey has been entertaining and also inspirational.
Yes.
And me personally, I recommend anybody to talk to someone who's been to the military before.
Yes, bro.
Before they join it, to get some ins and outs about it. But other than that, man, like I said before, man, the military doesn't owe you anything.
No,
I'm glad for that experience.
No, not at all.
So around 96, 98, you ended up in Dallas.
A story, man. Another story, man. Oak Cliff, Dallas, man. Dallas, man. Shout out to Oak Cliff, bro. I had family members out there. You know, once I came from the military, bro, I didn't want to go back to Franklin right now, so I ended up in Oak Cliff with my family members. And it was an experience, man. I mean, you got to realize me just getting out the military, still going through my stuff that I was going through in the military, traumatized. So I called my family, told them I was coming home. So they told me, man, Troy, you don't want to go back to Franklin. You can come out here to Dallas. So I went out there to Dallas to my family, man. Shout out to Tony Williams, Clara Williams, Tammy, Michelle. They was all out there. Kim Cross, was all out there and stuff in Dallas. So me being me, I'm trying to, find my way around Dallas and stuff. And man, it was an experiment. It definitely was an experiment, bro. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a story about Oak Cliff. I was out there, trying to do the right thing, getting me a little job. Just got out the military, man, trying to find my way in the civilian world again. And so while I was out there, one of my family members had a boyfriend. And like I say, man, I'm out there with my family members, so I don't want to do nothing wrong. So I'm trying to do the right thing out there. So when I get out there, I got a little job, was working at this restaurant, cooking out there, wasn't making too much, but I was doing my thing. So I ended up hooking up with one of my cousins, man, friends, and she was moving, so I helped her out. So me and her boyfriend had got kind of cool. So I started riding around with him and stuff in Oak Cliff, and I ain't really know nothing about Oak Cliff. Matter of fact, bro, speaking of Oak Cliff, speaking of Dallas, man, me being from Franklin, and every time I used to go to Texas, I was always going to Houston. I had never been to Dallas before, but I found this out. Dallas and Houston do not get along. Because when I was out there, man, I was telling people that I had never been to Dallas, I would always go to Houston. And man, what I said that for? When I told them I used to always go to Houston, man, it was like me talking about their mama or something, but they was like, oh shit. So Houston people don't get along from what I experienced. Houston people don't get along with Dallas people. They say they from the same state, man. They don't get along. But man, I'm gonna give you a story about Oak Cliff, bro, because I had my time there in Oak Cliff. I was riding with one of my cousins, old man and stuff, bro, in Oak Cliff, and he ain't telling me no better. We riding around, but as we riding around, I'm paying attention to him, and I'm not smelling nothing, but I'm watching him, bro, go into these stores, into these little goose stores. He'll go in his trunk and get a bag, and he come back with a bag. So when he did it like 3 times, to a store. So the 4th time he done it, I asked him. I said, man, what you going in that trunk and getting? And then you're coming back out, what I'm saying, with another bag. I said, what's going on? He told me, he said, oh man, he said, just be cool, bro. He said, I'm over here dropping all pounds. I said, what? I said, you dropping all pounds? And I'm in the car with this dude, right? So I'm saying to myself, now you around here trapping with me. I'm not knowing nothing about it. I don't know nothing about no Cliff or nothing like that. So I'm telling him, right? So I told him, I said, man, let me out this car, bro. I said, I don't want, because I didn't want to get my cousin and them in no trouble. I didn't want to be doing no gangster stuff out there, and I'm staying with them. So I told the dude, I said, bro, let me out this car. So he was like, man, just ride, just be cool. So I'm going to tell y'all, man, it's a true story. What I ended up doing was, he didn't want to let me out the car, and like I said, I ain't know nothing about Oak Cliff or nothing. So what I ended up doing, bro, when he came to a stop sign, we riding around, and he ended up coming to a stop sign, to a red light. And when he was coming to the red light, as I'm watching him come to the red light, I see a police over on the corner at the store. So I told myself, I said, you know what? I said, this is my opportunity right now to get out this car. So I got out that car, bro. I got out that car, and he wasn't going to tell me nothing because the police was right there. So when I got out the car, they had the payphone. Back then, they still had payphone. I went to a payphone, and I called my cousin Tony. And I said, man, look, bro, I'm somewhere in Oak Cliff, because he was in North Dallas somewhere. He wasn't living in Oak Cliff. And I called him. I said, man, bro, I'm out here with this dude, bro. And I said, I jumped out the car with him. I say, that man got weed. He got pounds of weed in his car, bro. I said, I'm not trying to be out. I ain't trying to live that life. What I'm saying? I'm trying to do the right thing. So my cousin was like, cuz, but where you at? So I was like, man, I don't know where I'm at. So I was by a payphone, but the payphone was right by like some type of little chicken slot. So I asked the lady, I said, ma'am, can you tell me where I'm at? So the lady ended up telling me where I was at. So my cousin, to make a long story short, my cousin Tony came and got me. And he was like, cuz, he said, man, you got to be careful out here in Oak Cliff, bro. He said, this is a grimy place. So I was like, well, all right, bro. So that was a lesson learned from me in Oak Cliff, bro. And I really wanted to knock that dude head off, but that was like my first lesson that I had got, man, in Oak Cliff. But Oak Cliff was real nice, bro. I really, really had a ball in Oak Cliff. But I stayed out there for I stayed in Oak Cliff for about 8 months with my cousin and them. And shout out to y'all because I appreciate y'all even giving me that opportunity to stay with y'all. So much love to my family. You know what I'm saying? But Oak Cliff was an experience, man. Cause like I said, I've been in Texas and Houston, but I had never been to Oak Cliff. So Oak Cliff was an experience for me, and I did my thing over there. You know, yeah, it was definitely an experience. But yeah, man, I found out that Oak Cliff, bro, them guys don't play out there. They do not play out there.
So whenever you left Oak Cliff, where did you end up at?
Lafayette.
In the flats.
Lafayette. I go to Lafayette. I end up going to Lafayette. I run into my brother got a matter of fact because I'm on paper from California, so I don't want to go to Franklin. So my brother got an apartment. Him and Tim Parker. My brother Lane out there working in Lafayette at Doug Ashley. Tim Parker, you know, being Tim Parker. Those who know Tim Parker, a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Parker. You know, I go to Lafayette. So I said, well, since I'm in Lafayette, I'm going to go on and join school. You know, I end up enrolling into Remington College for business technology. You know, so I end up going to Remington. So while I'm in Remington, my little brother Lane, he working at Doug Ashley. He handling his business because he got his fiancée, Felicia, his second born child, baby mama out there. She going to school at USL. So it's me, Lane, and Tim staying out there in New Orleans. And man, that's when the show started. So now I'm in Lafayette. I'm living in Lafayette. So we get in Lafayette, so Tim got it going on, man. When I say Tim got it going on in Lafayette, I'm talking about we got Showtime, we got Desperado. When I tell y'all, man, we up in Lafayette, and it's the early night. I'm talking about, just the late night. We doing our thing out there.
Showtime and Desperados. That's strip clubs, right?
That's strip clubs.
Okay.
That's strip clubs. And I'm talking about, bro, when we walk in these clubs, I'm talking about the owner of these clubs. They knew Tim, they knew me. So every time we walked in there, I'm talking about it was like the red carpet being rolled out for us. And when I say it was a beautiful thing, shout out to the girl, Lexus. You know what I'm saying? She was cold. She was one of the stallions in there. You know, I don't know where she at today, but we had a ball up in Showtime, bro. And man, it was just Lafayette was just a totally different game, bro. Because when I got to Lafayette, like I said, I enrolled into school. And matter of fact, man, speaking of school, I want to give a shout out to rest in peace, Keisha Green, and she had a friend called Watt. If y'all watching this video, I want to give Watt a shout out. Rest in peace, Keisha. She's dead today. But those two girls, man, like really, like showed me the way in Lafayette because they was going to school out there in USL. They made a way. I'm talking about for me, Tim, and Chad. Me, Tim, and Lane. They made a way for us. When I say we didn't want for nothing because they knew everything. They was going to school. Two very smart, intelligent queens that we had at that time. Like again, shout out to Watt, you know, and rest in peace, Keisha. But man, I'm talking about, bro, when I say we had a ball, we had so much of a ball, man. Let me show you how time was back then. I'm gonna give y'all a story. We riding down Johnson. Tim got a pocket full of money. I'm on the passenger side. We riding. He like, Troy, man, he said, I got to go to Houston and handle my business. I'm gonna show you time. That's how good time was back then. Man, that dude Tim, no lie, that dude Tim, we could be riding down the road. That dude Tim would see somebody that looked like a dope dealer, don't know him from a can of paint, and would just stop that dude and talk to him, and the next thing you know, man, Tim was gone. And when I say gone, Tim had shout out, man, go and handle business. You know what I'm saying? And come back with the business. Man, I'm talking about when I say we had a ball up in Lafayette, bro, we definitely had a ball. I'm talking about another story. Man, every day, every morning when I was in Lafayette, every day we used to come to Franklin. Matter of fact, shout out to Jerry Madison too. If you're watching this video, shout out to you, salute you, one of my big homeboys. Jerry Madison, he was back in the mix with us back in the days, bro. I told Tim, I said, Tim, I said, man, I said, don't go to Franklin. I said, don't go to Franklin, bro. And he was like, man, I'm going to Franklin to do this. I said, bro, why you got to go to Franklin when we got Lafayette sold up. I'm talking about everybody knows, bro, we got Lafayette sold up. Matter of fact, bro, we stand in New Orleans. We stand in New Orleans. I'm talking about it's love. Shout out to Tamara Wells, my homegirl. You know what I'm saying? She took care of me, made sure we was all straight. But yeah, man, I used to tell Tim, I said, bro, back to my story, I used to tell Tim, I said, bro, I said, don't go to Franklin, man. I said, we good. What are you going to Franklin for? Man, I just got to go to Franklin. He ended up going to Franklin, and when he got to Franklin, I stayed in Lafayette. So Jerry Madison came pick me up. He came from Franklin and picked me up in Lafayette. Tim had already made it to Franklin. So when me and Jerry go to Franklin looking for him, we don't find him nowhere. So we trying to figure out where he at. Because remember, I'm telling you, he had left with the guy that he shot out with, you know what I'm saying, to go handle the business. So instead of him coming to Lafayette, he called me and let me know he was going straight to Franklin to take care of some business. I'm telling him, don't go. But he ended up going to Franklin, bro, and we didn't find him. Me and Jerry didn't find him at the time, but Jerry ended up dropping me off by his mama house. And when Jerry dropped me off by his mama house, bro, why you think probably about like in an hour or so, Tim ended up coming home to the house. So me and him sitting in the house talking, we chopping it up. See, about 30 minutes later, why you think Sabre hearing them kicking in the door? Yeah. I mean, to this day, don't know how it happened, what went down. All I knew, I told Tim, we did not have to go to Franklin. That's when I started knowing Franklin. Well, I had been knowing Franklin had got grimy and dirty, but that's when I knew it wasn't no more love, bro, because I was trying to figure out, it wasn't nobody that knew nothing but me, Tim, and Jerry Madison. You know what I'm saying? That me and Jerry had went to Franklin, rode around for a minute, looking for Tim, and after I couldn't find Tim, I told him to drop me off by Miss Rebecca. Rest in peace, Miss Rebecca. That's Tim Parker mama. Told him to drop me off over there. She dropped me off over there. Tim ended up coming home. Like I said, about 30 minutes after that, man, Sabre here was kicking in the door. But
now let me ask you this: was this before or after? I think Tim had the 5.0. It was him and his
Oh, this was way after.
Way after?
Yeah, this was way after because Tim had the 5.0 when I was in the military. Yeah, this way after. Yeah, when this happened, this had to be
so
like.
Tim had been doing this thing.
Yeah, Tim had been doing this thing, man. Tim had been doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, saluting too, bro. Had been doing this thing, but yeah, bro, and he ended up getting locked up. And matter of fact, his mom ended up filing a civil suit because the laws, when they end up kicking in his mama's house, they had kids and stuff in there. Matter of fact, me and his mama was sitting at the table. We were sitting at the table talking when the laws come through there. And when they come through there, they came through there with the guns out there, kids and that, so they ended up filing a civil suit, Miss Rebecca. And what ended up happening with that situation, she ended up winning that case too, because like I said, they came in there with their guns out with the kids and stuff. But Tim could have got, Miss Rebecca could have got paid from that, but what ended up happening with that situation, Miss Rebecca just told, that's how I know that town, our little town of Franklin, they had the cons and pros because Miss Rebecca had told Sabre here that she didn't want no money, all she wanted was her son out of jail. And Sabre here ended up letting her son out of jail. But this was Sabre here done, that's why, man, I ain't gonna say I hate to say it, I need to say it because our town right now, bro, as I speak right now, is going down. When we had that woman Sabre Hills in the seat, I'm talking about we didn't have all this stuff that was going on down. You know what I'm saying? I wish we can get that woman back. I don't care who get mad, I wish we can get her back. Because we need to get a handle on our community.
Well, you definitely gonna ruffle some feathers with that one.
Yeah, ruffle some there. Ruffle some. You know, we need her back. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody like her. You know, because I mean, it's out of control. It's out of control. But back to Tim's story, man, Miss Rebecca ended up doing a thing with Sabre Hills where Miss Rebecca told him, say she didn't want no money, all she wanted was her son out of jail. Let me tell you what Sabre Hills done, this how cold this woman was. She told Miss Rebecca, she said, look, she said, I'm gonna let him out of jail, but he got to get out of my town. And said, in order for him to come to this town, when he come to this town, he got to check in with me. He got to call in. So Tim got family, he got his parents still in Franklin, he got his kids, his family and all that. Tim ended up leaving, getting out of town, going back to Lafayette. Every time Tim came home to Franklin, Tim had to get on that phone and call Sabre Hill. Look, is it okay for me to come home? And back then I was looking at it like it was messed up and all that, but you gotta understand what type of business my partner was in. You know what I'm saying? He was polluting the community. But back then I was mad as I don't know what. But looking at my community today, yeah, we need some more Sabre Hills. We need some more Sabre Hills in our community. Because it seems as though the parents don't want to stand up. The OGs don't want to stand up. Somebody need to stand up. I'm willing to stand up. But they ain't gonna listen to me, because who am I? I ain't riding around with no, you know what I'm saying, with no big old car. I ain't in no $1 million house. So these kids, you know, they follow what they idolize. And there's so much stuff being put in the street today, and it's polluting our youth. So on that note, I really miss Sabre Hill, because I really miss that woman. Because she definitely had things in order. But you know, going on a little further, you know, Tim ended up catching his charge. I ended up, you know, finished my little thing at Remington College. Now I done moved on in. I done moved out of Lafayette.
All right, so you came back to Franklin, I assume, around 2004. If you had to describe your experience back in Franklin, how would you do so?
Thugging and drugging. Matter of fact, what camera I'm on? You say it is what it is TV, right?
Right.
Okay then. So I mean, I done gave you the good, I done gave you the bad, and I'm gonna give you the ugly. This a journey, man. Tired of thugging and drugging, bro. It was a journey, man. I went on a trip, come back home, bro. I'm on the back. Pecos, it's Pecos now. You know what I'm saying? A bucket of blood. I'm talking about I done seen the worst the worst whippings out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about people getting slaughtered out there. Call it a bucket of blood. But during that time too, bro, I mean, I went on a journey. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I come home, I hooked up, you know, with my childhood friends. Rest in peace, Bubba Burrell, better known as Big Worm. Rest in peace, TP, Robert Wayne. Rest in peace, Head. Jermaine Williams, rest in peace, Al Foster. Shit, then I hooked up with Bull, you know, my little BG, Big Hole, Killer DeLone. I mean, bro, we was a force to be reckoned with back then. You know what I'm saying? We went on a journey, bro, and it started off, man, fun and recreation, man. Well, for them it was fun and recreation. I mean, I can't speak on them. I don't know what it was, but for me it was like me trying to self-medicate myself instead of, you know, going to the VA hospital and stuff with all the stuff I had been through, bro, traumatized and all that. And I just want to say this too, bro, you don't have to be in the military to have PTSD. Anything that traumatizes you gives you PTSD. That's just food for thought. But back to my journey, bro, thugging and drugging, man, I'm talking about, it was an episode, bro. I'm talking about, you know, it started off with me, bro. I'm talking about with the cocaine. You know, I went from snorting the cocaine to, you know, shooting, putting the syringe in my arm and all that stuff, bro. I'm talking about lacing up my marijuana and all that, bro. And the cold part about this whole situation was, like I said, bro, I used to come home from 90 to 92. And I used to have my little cousin and my dad, you know, lacing up their marijuana and stuff. And I used to talk about them. Used to be like, man, how y'all doing that stuff, man? Say no to drugs. Because I was the big cousin. You know, now, you know, it's a couple of years down the road, I'd have come back home, you know, and I find myself doing it, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. Like I said, I started self-medicating myself, bro. I'm talking about getting into it. But the crazy part about this whole situation, man, about this drugging thing, and thugging too at the same time, because, man, it was time where I was getting no sleep at all. I'm talking about no sleep, up all night thugging and drugging. Then I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to call myself, trying to sell a little stuff here and there. You know that saying, you don't get high off your own supply? Well, I would set up shop for so long, and then after a certain amount of time, at nighttime, I would shut shop down. So when I shut shop down, then it would be my turn, you know what I'm saying, to relax my mind. Thinking I was relaxing my mind, getting high. But the cold part about this whole situation was, man, I'm talking about, bro, when we used to get high, man, we used to be all up in the graveyard. I'm talking about way back there behind Oak Lawn. I'm talking about in the graveyard where dead people at. And I'm talking about, bro, we would do our thing. When I say our thing, I'm talking about shooting up. When we would shoot up, man, I'm talking about we would be in the graveyard, bro. And as soon as we do our thing, I'm talking about you can hear once it go into your vein. I'm talking about, bro. We can hear. We could be all the way in Oakland, and we can hear the train. We can hear people talking all the way in Franklin. That's how important this stuff was. And not glorifying no drugs. I'm just giving you my story. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. TV. Yeah, man, I'm talking about, bro, I'm talking about we would be in the graveyard, man, thinking we hide from everybody. And when we come back into town, we thinking ain't nobody knowing what we doing, but everybody knowing, they seeing it in our face. I'm talking about, man, I used to wear 2 and 3 pair of pants just to try to look big, trying to make myself look big because I wasn't eating. I'm staying up all night, you know what I'm saying, thugging, you know what I'm saying, staying up all day, drugging, you know, and I'm thinking my appearance, I'm thinking I'm looking good, but I got on about 4, 5 shirts trying to make myself look good. And it was crazy. But the most crazy part about this situation was, and those who know. What I was saying used to be, you know, we paid to spook. And I used to be like, damn, we paid to spook. So when I would go purchase my little stuff, bro, from the D-boy, you know what I'm saying? I told him if it ain't no good, I want my money back. So, but when it'll be good, I didn't want my money back. But what I mean by being good, once I started getting high, I would get scared. And I was the type of person, I ain't never been scared of nothing or nobody. But I didn't understand how I would take my money, bro. That's how I knew this thing is insane, because I would do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You know what I'm saying? I would get high. I would get high. And once I get high, I would be scared to move. And that was crazy. Like, why is I paying to get high and I'm scared to move, scared to be around people? But at that time, I was liking it, but I didn't understand it, but I liked it. So it was a run. It was a run, bro. And you know, I had friends like, you know, Dada, you know what I'm saying, used to come to me and be like, man, Troy, bro, man, come on, man, stop that. And I used to tell him, because I used to get mad with him because, you know, his thing was drinking. You know, he liked to drink. And my thing was, like I said, I was snorting coke. And my thing was, you know, he used to tell me, man, stop doing that. And I look back at him like, man, at the end of the day, you telling me about stop doing this, but you doing this. But my motto about that situation was, you know what I'm saying, $20 is $20. Whether I took my $20 and we got me some coke, and you took your $20 and we got you some alcohol. You just done what you wanted to do, and I just done what I wanted to do. But I was looking at the picture wrong, because at the end of the day, you know, he was just caring about, you know, his brother, you know, me. He was caring about me, you know, about my well-being, because I was out the bottom, bro. I'm talking about run-ins with the police, bro. I'm talking about every time I got stopped by the police, I went to jail. Matter of fact, I went to jail so much, bro. When I go to jail, they would call me the misdemeanor king in that thing. Boy, you the misdemeanor king. I stayed going to jail. Every time the people stopped me, I already knew what time it was. If I was in the car with somebody, I would tell them just take my car. If I wasn't in the car, I'd tell them just call my old lady and tell her come get the car, because I was going to jail. And it was crazy, bro. When I'm talking about it was crazy, it was crazy. But let me give you let me run an ep with y'all right quick. It was me and 4 more cats, bro. All us in the car together. We take us a trip to Houston. We take us a trip to New Orleans. All us in the car together. All us got money. I'm talking about we all got money, we all got drugs. I'm talking about we doing our thing all the way to New Orleans. We get to New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? We get to New Orleans, we have a blast in New Orleans. When we get back in the car, now, everybody, we get in the car, we still doing our thing, bro. But the crazy part about that was, once we started doing our thing, everybody in the car thinking everybody trying to do them something. You don't think that's crazy? I'm talking about they really thinking like, I'm thinking this person trying to do me something, that person thinking the other person trying to do him something. I'm talking about, bro, when I say it was crazy, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a journey out this world, man. So I meant, like I said, I went from weed, cocaine, you know what I'm saying, to crunch and munch. Those that know what I'm talking about know what crunch and munch is. You couldn't miss me. You couldn't miss me at all. And man, it was a hell of a journey, bro, for me. I'm talking about thugging and drugging all day, every day. I'm talking about I would put on my clothes, brother, go to Petco at night. I'm talking about suited, looking good, you know what I'm saying? we'll get in the house, get ourselves together. We all getting ready to go to the club or go to Joe's or go to Pecco's, and now we done got in the house and we done got stuck. And I'm talking about everybody in the house stuck. The club jumping. It's going on in the club. We scared to come outside because the music too loud. We don't want to come out there because we thinking everybody watching us and ain't nobody paying attention to us. But that's just how the drug, you know, had us going, bro. I can't say, I ain't gonna speak on us. I'm gonna speak on me. That's how the drugs had me going. I'm talking about, bro, I was like really like doing some crazy stuff, man. I'm talking about I would get dressed to be ready to go out to the club and get high before I go out, and couldn't go out because I was too scared to go out. And I'm like, man, Troy, you gotta check yourself. Like, you doing some crazy stuff, like, you're not no scared person, but yet you going to give your money to a person to get high so you can be scared. And I'm talking about, bro, I would check myself about that all the time. Like why I keep doing this? Why I keep doing this? But I knew, you know, it was going to come a time where, you know, I had to grab myself because I was hurting a lot of people out there. There was a lot of people out there that really loved me and cared about me when I wasn't caring about myself. You know what I'm saying? So I had to grab a grip, bro. I had to really grab a grip. It was really a journey. And when I say a journey, it was a journey, bro. And for me, how I come about my situation, I was fortunate enough to be a veteran. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to go get help. You know what I'm saying? I went to New Orleans to Gateway, and I got me some help. You know, paid by like 30. Well, they paid like $3,500 for me to go get some help, and I got me some help, bro. And today, you know, I just look at my community and seeing, you know, how it's going down, and I just want to tell people, bro, that ain't the way. Say no to drugs, man, because drugs is not the way. You know what I'm saying? I lost a lot of people in the game. You know what I'm saying? Lost a lot of friends, you know, family members in the game. You know what I'm saying? And I just say, bro, say no to drugs. At one time I used to look at that and, you know, laugh at that, but that's some powerful words. Say no to drugs because, like I said, it just starts off, and when it starts off, it take off. And if you're not a strong person in this game, you ain't gonna survive. You ain't gonna last. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you, I mean, I'm still here, and I'm gonna be here. Be here a long time. I'll be here a while. I'll be here.
Now, Troy,
Talk to me. Talk to me.
we have talked about a lot of different aspects of your life.
Right.
See, I know you personally.
Right.
You are indeed a family man.
Yes.
You constantly talk about your family, talk about your kids.
Yes.
You love them to pieces.
Yes. Yes.
One part we haven't covered.
What that is, man.
That's fatherhood.
Haven't covered that. Touchy situation. But I'm glad you brought that up. Glad you brought that up.
Tell me about that.
Man. Whoa. Sticky situation, man. Fatherhood. Salute to my father. He's still here. Mother's still here. So I know about fatherhood. Sticky situation, bro. I have 2 daughters. My wife have 4 kids. My 2 daughters is Tatanisha Washington and Tanasia Washington. My wife kids are Quan Bowie, Jim Bowie, Aishla Bowie, and Brian Bowie. Our kids. Fatherhood, bro. And this for my 2 daughters. What camera I'm on? I want them to see this and hear this. In spite of what they tell y'all, Daddy love you. Love you to pieces. But bro, it's like a bittersweet thing, bro, with my kids, man. I mean, of course, you know, they military kids. They was born while I was in the military. Tanisha was born in California. Tanasia was born in Florida. You know, and I wasn't really like in their lives like I should have been, because me and their mother, we ended up divorcing, and I didn't have that growing up. I missed that memory of them growing up, you know, missing them walking, crying. Well, I was in Tanisha's life for a while, but for this my baby girl, I wasn't really in her life, man. And It's hard, bro, because right now, bro, I mean, I love my daughters to pieces, but for some reason, bro, we just don't have that. We just don't have that communication, that understanding. But today, Brandon, I'm glad I'm doing this interview, man. I want my kids to know, my two daughters to know that I love them to pieces, you know. And no, I wasn't the best father. You know, I wasn't, you know, in a lot of, you know, things that they participated in, you know, Father's Day being going out prom, you know, being in school, getting certificates and all type of stuff. I wasn't there to support them, you know what I'm saying? Do you know, things that went on with me and their mother. But I want my children to know, my daughters to know that I love them to pieces, man. And in spite of what the people tell them or what's going on or what they think, I love my daughters, man. I love my daughters to death. Like I say, bro, this a touchy situation, my daughters, bro, because I get sensitive about my daughter, cause, you know, strong as I am, bro, I mean, that's like a weak spot in my heart when it comes to my daughters, especially my daughters, you know. And I just want them to know, like I say, that I love them. And I've been out. Matter of fact, I got out my kids' life, but me and my mama divorced. Probably when Boo Boo, my youngest daughter, was probably 1 year old. So me and her really didn't have no type of communication growing up. You know, no type of relationship growing up. But at the end of the day, you know, I want them to know that, you know, even though we didn't have no relationship growing up, I mean, and I sit down and I talk with my daughters all the time. You know, we talk here and there, but I know it's not that real love, man. And it's sad because I grew up with both of my parents, so I know how important that is when you got both of your parents, you know, in the household. But I mean, things happen in life, so I can deal with that. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, I just want my daughters to know, even like today, right now, the things that go on, you know, in a community, and they might feel as though that they doing that on their own. But there's a lot of stuff, man, that my kids can do and get away with because of their daddy, because of me, you know, their childhood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because of they're my kids. They can do a lot of things. But bro, you know, when their birthdays come around, Christmas come around, you know, I be wanting to see my kids, and now, bro, they're at a status now in their life where, you know, they got kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a chain reaction. You know, like if my kids, my two daughters feeling a certain way about me, you know, we gonna have this close relationship, then of course, you know, they kids ain't gonna have no close relationship with me, because me and my kids don't have no close relationship. And at the end of the day, bro, all you got is family. And I'm their father and they my kids. And man, I'd do anything in the world to see them, you know, have a blessed life. You know what I'm saying? On the other hand, that's why I say that this conversation right here is bittersweet, because on the other half, you know, when that door was closed with my two daughters, you know, where we not having this relationship, God bless me with this woman where she had 4 kids, you know, who I just named, and, you know, I'm a father to them now, and love them to death. They love me to death. You know what I'm saying? It just hurt me at the end of the day where I can't get that same type of love, you know, from my bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Not taking nothing away from my white kid, because I love them just like they minds. You know, they know I love them just like they minds. But I try to get my kids, my two daughters, to see, like, you know, Daddy here for y'all. You know, Daddy, he will always be here for y'all. But, you know, it's stuff between, you know, that they mama, you know, that told them the parts of their mind with, you know, stuff that I'd have done on my own, where they'd have heard about a scene that they wasn't, you know, happy with. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that, you know, but at the end of the day, and this is what I know at the age of 56, at the end of the day, bro, all you have is family. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this time and day right now, bro, you need a father, you need a mother, you know, in this world. And if you don't, you know what I'm saying, I know you got a grandmother, a grandfather, you know what I'm saying, that father, that father role is very important, man, because at the end of the day, I mean, a man's supposed to be a castle in his house, man, and that's what I try. That's what I try to do. I mean, like I see my kids on my wife's side. I mean, utmost respect. You know, very respectable kids. You know what I'm saying? Love them to death. You know, I do whatever I can for them. You know what I'm saying? So you know I'm gonna do whatever I can for my wife. I mean, my kids, my wife kids, my first wife, my two daughters. I'm gonna put it like that. I'm gonna put their mom out of there. My two daughters, Tatanisha and Tanisha. I do whatever I can for them, bro. So I just want y'all to know, you know, if y'all watching this video, Daddy love y'all to death, in spite of what the people say, in spite of what I went through. Because at the end of the day, you can't take that back. I am your father. They say God make no mistake. I don't know if y'all love it, y'all hate it, but at the end of the day, I am your father, y'all all my kids. You know what I'm saying? So if we can embrace that, you know what I'm saying, and come together like a family, but that's all I want now, man. At the end of the day, bro, all I want now is just be with my family, love my loved ones. That's all I want to do, you know.
I most definitely understand that, man. I do. So let me ask you this.
Talk to me.
It sounds like you have taken accountability, but moving forward,
Yeah.
what do you plan on doing to pretty much, let's say, insert yourself in their lives to make it a point to have a relationship?
I gotta keep pushing, man. I gotta, you know, like when their birthdays come, you know what I'm saying, I reach out. I mean, I'm the father, and they my kids. But when their birthdays come, I mean, I reaches out. When my birthday come, they don't even pick up the phone and say, hey dog, hey cat, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I mean, if I see them in the streets, they gonna acknowledge me. But for the most part, I mean, like I said, I come from a family, bro, where my parents are still together. We know what love is when it comes to that. And just with my two daughters, I don't have that, man. I don't really have that real, genuine love for my two daughters. You know, it's like, that's my daddy. But at the end of the day, bro, when I go to sleep at night, I'm talking about, I pray for my girls. I pray for them. You know, I pray for them, bro. It's hard, but God gonna make a way. God gonna make a way. Trust me, God gonna make a way.
And that He will do.
Yes.
Today, Troy, man, we have covered a lot, bro.
Right, right.
We've got your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
We've got your adolescent years.
Right.
We've got your time in the military.
Give it to you.
And we also cover fatherhood.
Right, right.
But the one thing we haven't covered,
Talk to me.
it's the thing that every man needs. Every man gotta have this.
Boy.
That woman that holds him down.
Oh boy.
Tell me, how do you feel about marriage?
Marriage. Good question, cuz. Marriage. Right now as we speak, man, I'm married again. It's my second marriage. I want to give shout out to my wife, man. Isola Marie Washington. Matter of fact, let me do that over. Isola Marie Bowie Washington. Love you, baby. Hey, man, I met my wife, bro. I mean, she was there for me. You know what I'm saying? Before we got married, me and my wife hooked up in the 2000s. We hooked up in the 2000s, man. And matter of fact, I want to give a shout out to my Aunt Verlin. That's how I met my wife. You'd be surprised. Rest in peace, Aunt Verlin. That's where I met her. So I knew my wife, she was going to be my wife because my auntie was a real woman. So she wouldn't have put me on my wife if she wasn't right. So I want to give shout out to her. They were staying in the projects back in the days. And I want to really emphasize on this, man, because every strong man need a strong woman, bro. And that's why I'm with that woman today. I mean, I done had buku females. And at the end of the day, bro, I mean, my wife that I have today, she stuck in there with me. I mean, it was many times, bro, she could have easily, like, packed her bags and quit and walked out on me. She had all the reason in the world to walk out on me, but she didn't. And I want to thank my wife today. And I want to tell you, babe, if you looking, what camera I'm looking at, cuz? Right here, I want to tell you, babe, I love you with all my heart. Love you. So I want to give a shout out, man. To my cousin Trevin, man. It is what it is, TV. Thank you for having me here today as a host, bro. Thank you for putting our city, Franklin, Louisiana, on the map. Salute, bro, and much love to y'all. Y'all see me again. Thank you very much, cuz.
I appreciate that, man. You could have told your story to anybody, but you chose to tell it to me. I'm gonna make sure I do it right. Once again, man, you watching another episode of Franklin Tales. It is what it is, TV.
Salute.